Ace stirred the pot with Nicolandria fans during his appearance on the August 27th episode of the Speedy Mormon podcast. During the interview, he said while he was in the villa, Nick told him there was, quote, no romantic spark between him and Alandria.
Thought each other were attractive, but it was never gonna be more than just friends right then and there. And they were just, it was just gonna be cool.
So apparently winning Love Island comes with a complimentary best friend betrayal and a side of producer manipulation that runs deeper than anyone imagined. While you were busy processing the reunion drama, something absolutely wild was brewing behind the scenes. We're talking about Ace going nuclear on his supposed best friend Nick, claiming their golden couple relationship is completely fabricated. Austin threatening tell-alls while revealing villa secrets that make the aired content look like Disney Channel. And Nick strategically unfollowing people weeks after filming like he's playing some calculated social media chess game. But here's what nobody saw coming. The person dropping the most explosive revelations about producer manipulation wasn't some bitter eliminated contestant. It was someone who had everything to lose by speaking out. Someone whose recovery journey gave him a perspective that made reality TV contracts seem laughably insignificant. The reunion was just the appetizer. What happened after those cameras stopped rolling? Well, let's just say certain people decided that friendship meant less than their version of the truth. And when the smoke cleared, we discovered that the real Love Island was apparently happening in production meetings, not in those villa beds. Trust me, by the time we're done here, you'll never look at a reality TV relationship announcement the same way again. Because apparently some people have been very busy calculating their next moves, while others were just trying to figure out what the heck actually happened in that villa. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let me walk you through the absolute chaos that unfolded after Love Island USA Season 7's reunion wrapped. Trust me, what happened after those cameras stopped rolling was more dramatic than anything that went down in that Fiji villa. And if you could hit that subscribe button for me, it really helps the channel grow so I can keep churning out content like this for you. And also, let me know what you think about all this new drama in the comments. Okay, love you. Thank you. Now on to the tea. Let's start with what might be the most brutal friendship assassination in reality TV recent memory, because Ace decided to go on Speedy's podcast and essentially light his villa bestie on fire.
Picture this. Nick is probably scrolling through social media, maybe planning his next cute couple post with Alandria, when his friend since day one of Love Island drops an interview that basically calls his entire relationship a performance piece.
When Speedy asked Ace point blank if he thinks Nick and Alandria's relationship is real, the silence was deafening.
We're talking about one of those pauses where you can practically hear someone's reputation crumbling in real time. Then Ace finally responds with what can only be described as the most diplomatic way to say, absolutely not.
But it gets worse. Ace revealed that back in the villa, Nick explicitly told him there was no romantic spark between him and Alandria, just physical attraction. According to Ace, Nick's exact words were that they found each other attractive, but hadn't found that romantic connection. And that was supposedly Nick's position throughout their entire villa experience. So what changed? Well, according to Ace, what changed was the internet. Apparently, seeing how many people were riding for them as a couple made the whole situation shift dramatically.
Coming out the villa and, seeing that this whole Nick Alandria thing has been a thing for a while, it's like damn, that's crazy.
The implication here is pretty clear. Nick and Alandria saw the fan support and decided to lean into it. Coming out and seeing how many people were riding for them was crazy, Ace said, with the kind of tone that suggests he watched his friend make a calculated business decision rather than a romantic one. But here's where this gets really messy. Ace isn't just some random villa acquaintance throwing shade. This is someone who was supposedly Nick's closest friend in the villa, someone who had intimate conversations about relationships and feelings. When your day one villa brother comes out swinging this hard, it's not just drama, it's a complete character assassination. The truly wild part, Ace knows this is going to blow up friendships. He's dating Shelly, who happens to be best friends with Alandria, so he's essentially lighting a bomb in his girlfriend's social circle while claiming it's all about honesty and authenticity. Now, while Ace was busy torching his friendships, he also dropped some seriously explosive tea about what was really happening behind those villa cameras. And this isn't just gossip. This is someone pulling back the curtain on reality TV production in ways that most contestants would never dare. Remember Taylor and Alandria's relationship drama? The way Taylor seemed interested but kept pulling back, making Alandria look desperate and foolish? Well, according to Ace, that entire storyline was apparently orchestrated by production. Ace claims that Taylor was being heavily influenced by outside sources. And given the context, he's clearly talking about producers to stay coupled with Alandria even when Taylor wanted to explore other connections. Basically, they were allegedly manipulating Taylor into maintaining a storyline that made Alandria look bad, while protecting their preferred narrative.
Taylor had received some influences amongst that situation to where he had no other choice, Ace revealed. And when pressed about whether Alandria knew about these influences, he confirmed she had no idea what was really going on. But the producer manipulation doesn't stop there. Remember when Ace chose to save Huda over Jalen in that elimination ceremony? The one where everyone criticized him for keeping someone he clearly had issues with? Well, Ace now claims that wasn't even his decision. "If I had my way, I would definitely pick Jalen," he admitted, suggesting that those mysterious influences and his conscience, aka producer guidance, forced him to make a choice that went against his actual preferences. Think about how insane this is. We're watching people make what we think are personal, emotional decisions about relationships and eliminations. But behind the scenes, there's allegedly a whole puppet show happening, where contestants are being guided towards specific outcomes. This isn't just about creating dramatic moments. This is about fundamentally manipulating the entire foundation of what viewers think they're watching. When someone votes to eliminate their friend or stay coupled with someone they're not feeling, how much of that is genuine versus produced? Speaking of people who aren't afraid to expose production secrets, let's talk about Austin's post-reunion meltdown and the personal revelations that explained why he gives absolutely zero care about NDAs or PR damage control. Right after the reunion, Austin went live with Jeremiah and basically threatened to burn the whole system down. "I can't believe they didn't show it," he said, referring to some mystery reunion moment that got completely cut from the aired episode. When Jeremiah tried to warn him about being careful because of PR implications, Austin doubled down.
No, I'm doing a tell-all. Eventually, do it when I'm not here.
But here's what makes Austin's fearlessness make sense. This is someone who's already faced down demons that make reality TV consequences look like a minor inconvenience. Austin recently revealed that he battled a 5-year opiate addiction from ages 17 to 22, stemming from a doctor who prescribed painkillers for 2 months straight without proper monitoring.
The turning point came when he underwent an 18-hour psychedelic therapy session using Ibogaine, where he literally lived an entire lifetime as an addict, complete with losing his wife and children, before coming out of the experience determined to completely rebuild his life. When you've experienced watching your hypothetical future self lose everything due to poor decisions, what exactly is a Love Island NDA going to do to scare you? Austin's recovery journey gave him a perspective that most reality stars will never have. The understanding that there are consequences far worse than bad publicity. This context completely reframes Austin's villa behavior and his willingness to spill production secrets. This isn't just some reality TV villain looking for attention. This is someone who's done serious personal work and isn't intimidated by the usual industry pressure tactics. The fact that his reunion crash out was so explosive they couldn't even air it, suddenly that makes a lot more sense when you understand that Austin operates from a place of having already survived his personal rock bottom. While Austin was threatening exposés and Ace was nuking friendships, there was another layer of drama playing out in the most calculated social media moves we've seen from reality TV contestants. Let's talk about Nick's extremely suspicious unfollowing timeline. The reunion was filmed 2 weeks before it aired, which means Nick had 2 full weeks to process everything that happened during that taping. He had 2 weeks to hear how hurt Alandria was by Huda's comments, 2 weeks to see his girlfriend's emotional state about the bullying allegations. But when did Nick finally unfollow Huda? The day after the reunion aired. Not immediately after filming, when emotions were running high and the drama was fresh. Not even a few days later, as things settled. He waited until the public could see the reunion and judge his response. This timing is interesting. It suggests Nick was more concerned about public perception than he was about supporting his girlfriend's emotional state. If you're really unfollowing someone to stand by your girl, wouldn't you do that immediately after seeing her hurt, not after calculating how it would look to viewers? The strategic nature of this move becomes even more suspicious when you consider that Jeremiah had to go on social media after the reunion to clarify that Nick actually did defend Alandria during filming. It just got cut from the aired episode.
So last but not least, Nick definitely did stand up for Alandria. And one, seeing Nick and Alandria in person was so cute, because that was the first time I seen them in person together, and the chemistry was just, that's why I was instantly like, I already loved them separately, but them together was amazing. But yeah, it got edited out, but I just want to come on here and say 1000% Nick did stand up for Alandria.
So Nick was being publicly criticized for not supporting his girlfriend, when apparently he had supported her, but decided to wait 2 weeks and gauge public reaction before making his unfollowing statement. Meanwhile, the other social media warfare was happening in real time. Brian and Amaya unfollowed each other. Iris and Pepe did the same. And suddenly, the post-reunion period looked like a digital bloodbath of failed relationships. But here's what's particularly messy about Nick's calculated unfollowing. It happened right before Ace went on his interview tour, calling Nick's entire relationship fake. So now we have to wonder, was Nick trying to get ahead of some drama he knew was coming?
Let's dive into the Villa reality that production worked overtime to keep off your screens. Because Austin's tell-all interviews revealed some absolutely unhinged details about what life was really like behind those cameras. First up, the health situation that no one was talking about. Austin confirmed there was a legitimate cold sore outbreak in the villa, and multiple contestants were dealing with this while trying to navigate dating challenges and kissing competitions. Austin managed to avoid the situation by being upfront about health status before any romantic interactions, which is honestly more responsible than most people are in regular dating. But Austin's comments about cockroaches around lips and asking people about their health status suggests this was a more significant issue than anyone let on. The fact that this never made it into any Villa conversations on screen tells you how carefully production controlled the narrative around Villa health and safety. Then there's the mental health reality that production clearly wanted to keep quiet. Austin described having what he calls crash outs over basic freedoms, grown adults having to ask permission for smoke breaks and being told no by producers. He would literally have to sneak outside anyway, pacing around like a caged animal while muttering about being tired of this place.
The Villa had on-site therapists, which tells you that the psychological pressure of living under constant surveillance while having your autonomy completely stripped away was breaking people down in ways that viewers never got to see. And here's the detail that should make everyone question everything they think they know about reality TV. Those elimination deliberations that look like quick 2-minute discussions on screen, Austin revealed they actually take 30 minutes to an hour of intense back and forth conversations. When Austin talks about his conscience making voting decisions, or references to influences affecting elimination choices, he's basically confirming that there's heavy producer involvement in what viewers think are personal, emotional decisions made by contestants. The most telling revelation? Austin estimates that viewers see about 48 minutes of content from every 24-48 hours of actual Villa life. Imagine everything happening in your life right now. Then imagine someone editing it down to less than an hour and calling that your authentic story. The level of narrative manipulation becomes staggering when you think about it that way.
The Ace and Nick situation isn't just about one relationship being called fake. It's about the complete breakdown of Villa friendships and the calculated nature of post-show loyalty. According to Ace, his friendship with Nick deteriorated because Nick wouldn't publicly defend him when narratives were spinning online. Ace felt that real friendship meant standing up for each other both behind closed doors and in public. But Nick apparently chose the PR safe route instead of loyalty. I told him I felt like the answer that you gave was just mad PR, and I didn't respect it, Ace revealed. And he was like, well, I'm pretty much over it. Think about how cold that response is. When your supposed best friend tells you they feel unsupported and that your public comments felt calculated rather than genuine, responding with, I'm pretty much over it, is basically ending the friendship right there. But here's where this gets really complicated. Ace is dating Shelly, who is best friends with Olandria. So when Ace goes nuclear on Nick and Olandria's relationship, he's not just attacking a couple, he's potentially destroying his girlfriend's closest friendship.
This creates an impossible situation for Shelly. Does she support her boyfriend's right to speak his truth, even if it means calling her best friend's relationship a sham? Does she try to stay neutral and potentially damage her romantic relationship? Or does she choose sides and lose either her boyfriend or her best friend? The ripple effects of Ace's interview are going to extend far beyond just Nick and Olandria. This is the kind of drama that fractures entire social circles and forces everyone to choose sides. What makes this particularly brutal is the timing. Ace waited until after the reunion, after the public had formed opinions, after relationships had been established in the public eye, and then decided to detonate everything. That's not just speaking truth. That's strategic character assassination.
Since we're talking about relationship implosions, let's quickly address the other couples who couldn't make it past reunion week. Brian and Amaya managed to speedrun their breakup faster than most people delete embarrassing photos. After being the first Latino couple to win Love Island USA, they lasted approximately 48 hours past their reunion airing before calling it quits. Amaya's breakup announcement was literary perfection.
Amaya broke the news, writing in a statement directed to her papayas, quote, Brian and I are no longer together. After leaving the villa, it became very clear that we were on two different journeys. Our visions didn't align, and relationships are supposed to be a team sport. You don't have to drink the whole sea to know it's salty. All love here, and I truly wish him the best. Around the same time, Amaya took to TikTok to comment on a post where a girl calls out Brian for being at a club filled with other women. In her comment, Amaya writes, quote, "Imagine being broken up with just to come on TikTok a couple hours later already and distraught to see that he's in Miami 2 hours later doing the exact things you told him hurts your feelings."
Meanwhile, Iris and Pepe's relationship allegedly ended in a Michigan hotel lobby, according to screenshots that circulated showing someone claiming intimate encounters with Pepe just hours before the reunion aired. Iris's response? A Fleetwood Mac soundtrack to her Instagram story with lyrics about haunting someone's dreams forever. Classy revenge at its finest. The speed of these breakups suggests that whatever was holding these couples together during filming, whether it was cameras, production pressure, or public expectations, evaporated the moment they returned to real life. But these quick splits pale in comparison to the nuclear warfare happening between the couples who are still together. At least Brian, Amaya, Iris, and Pepe had the decency to just quietly unfollow each other and move on. The real mess is coming from the people who are staying together while burning down everyone else's relationships. So there you have it. The complete breakdown of how Love Island USA Season 7 turned from a reality dating show into a masterclass in strategic betrayal and producer manipulation. Ace decided that speaking his version of the truth was worth potentially destroying multiple friendships and his girlfriend's social circle. Whether that's authentic honesty or calculated revenge probably depends on which side of the drama you're watching from. Nick learned that strategic social media moves and calculated unfollowing patterns might protect your public image, but they also make you look like someone who prioritizes perception over genuine emotion. And the rest of us learned that what we think we're watching on reality TV might be a heavily manipulated narrative where contestants are being guided towards specific storylines by producers who care more about drama than authentic human connection. The cameras might have stopped rolling, but the real show was just getting started. Because apparently, some people had been calculating their moves long before the reunion aired, and others were just trying to figure out what actually happened when the producers weren't whispering in their ears. The moral of the story? Sometimes the most explosive revelations come not from the people trying to stay relevant, but from the ones who have nothing left to lose. And sometimes the person willing to blow up everything for their version of the truth isn't the villain. They're just the only one brave enough to say what everyone else was thinking.